Hi, I'm Meredith. I'm a dietitian. I might not be your dietitian, so please talk to your own personal healthcare provider before you make any changes to your diet or your medications or your supplements. I wanted to do a quick video because I love when someone catches me on something and corrects me because I'm humble. I'm only one person. So um, I had slipped up in a video and said that meat contains retinoic acid when actually I was like thinking too far ahead. So meat has retinol in it, is the point that I was trying to make in one of my videos. And retinol can be metabolized to retinoic acid. And retinoic acid is a small molecule. And so it diffuses straight across the blood, into the bloodstream. It can go straight to the liver through portal circulation. It does not have to be packaged onto a chylomicron. It's just moves like that. And throughout our body, retinoic acid can go through cell membranes. Okay, so it's very small, polar molecule. So I wanted to clarify on that, but also I wanted to talk about the fact that a lot of times when we go on a low vitamin A diet, we might think that we're getting very little retinol, but in actuality, that's not true. So anyone who is eating animal meat is getting some retinol, and it varies. So this is an article. It's actually about beta-carotene and retinol content in the meat of herbivores and ungulates, herbivorous ungulates. And it's an Egyptian study. So they were trying to figure out how much retinol and beta-carotene these Egyptian people were actually eating. And so they were looking at the content of the animal meat that they consume. So I'm going to scroll down for just a little bit. I'm coming to this first diagram. And so this tells about the beta-carotene content, and it's in micrograms per grams. So just as a reference, the RDA and the USA for a man is around 900 micrograms, and for a woman, I believe it's 700 micrograms. And so that would be the amount that would meet 98% of the population's needs. So the person with the most needs is going to be met. So 98% of the population means the person with the highest needs is likely getting or requiring about 900 micrograms. Okay. And so if you look at this, the gray bars are actually muscle. We're going to ignore the liver because we know that liver is very high in vitamin A, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to have a normal-ish type of vitamin A intake. Because overall we want to decrease the burden on NAD so that we're metabolizing vitamin A very well. Okay, so gross rat. I don't eat rat, but maybe, if you go to Egypt, you might enjoy some. So rat has very little vitamin A, in the form of beta-carotene. So buffalo doesn't appear to retain beta-carotene. And then grain-fed cattle also are very low in beta-carotene. And then the grass-fed cattle would have more, and that's because they're eating grass. And you can see the other animals there. So now we're going to scroll down. This one is total carotenoids, so it's beyond beta-carotene, would be all the carotenoids. And again, you can see a trend. If you're grain-fed, very little carotenoids. If you are a buffalo, you're still not get much carotenoid. Okay, and then going down here to the retinol content. So grain-fed cattle, again, very little retinol in their muscle tissue. And then grass-fed cattle, it's kind of hard to see on this thing, but let's say that this is like 25. So we're going to estimate, let's just give it a low estimate. Let's say it's 10 micrograms per gram of retinol in grass-fed beef. So let's think of this. How many grams does someone eat at once? Well, I usually eat at least 3 ounces of meat, sometimes more. So 3 ounces of meat in grams is close to 90 grams. So it's about 28 grams per ounce. So let's just say that I'm eating 90 grams of grass-fed beef. Well, if 90 grams of grass-fed beef has 10 micrograms per gram, then I already ate 900 micrograms of retinol, right? That's the math, right? So if you take 10 micrograms per gram and I ate 90 grams, that's 900 micrograms. That's a lot of retinol. And so all my friends out there on a carnivore diet, you're good. You're good. You're still getting retinol. that's actually a good thing, unless you have a gut problem and you possibly have aspergillus or candida. Then I believe what's happening is we're turning that fresh retinol inside of our gut into anhydroretinol. And it's possible that your metabolism is wrong inside of your liver and your other cells, and it could be contributing to problems with anhydroretinol as well. Okay, so again, buffalo, pretty good source of retinol. I mean, it's kind of a little bit lower than the grass-fed cattle, but even if we were to estimate just 5, let's just say 5 micrograms per gram of tissue. If you eat 3 ounces, and and estimate 90 grams times 5 is 450 micrograms. So for a man, that's nearly halfway to the RDA. And for a woman, it's a little over halfway. So if we're a child, it's plenty, right? So that's something to consider. So here is, they're looking at how many milligrams of these particular, retinoids, retinol and carotenoids and beta-carotene, how much an Egyptian, a male adult, would eat in a day. And so if I just take the muscles and I'll just look at the retinol, it's about 1.21 milligrams. So that's 1,210 micrograms. And that's above the RDA. So that's their average intake in Egypt. But as you can see, it's not so hard. It's not so hard to get retinol in with meat, which is kind of comforting. But also maybe not, like I said, if you think that you might have something going on with candida or aspergillus, because that could lead to maybe you converting more of it in your gut into anhydroretinol. But the goal of that would be to take care of your gut issues, and your goal would not to be eat low vitamin A forever, because we need retinol to be able to run our oxidative phosphorylation correctly and not make reactive oxygen species. So I will put a link to this study in the in the little show notes at the bottom. All right, have a great day. Bye. I always have a hard time hanging up.